Welcome to this tutorial on using WordPress to build SaaS applications. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to build an ERP solutions to help customers buy ERP solutions for their company, similar to Monday or Odoo. And they could create a company, they could buy a plan, they could sign up for it, they could enter the website name for their company, and I'm saying like Berlin LLC, they could have a domain name for their company as well, they could select it and enter of course like other billing details. I added a fake card to make the sign up work, and basically after they sign up it would create a complete website for them to have the different plans they would like to have. Maybe they would like to have different add-ons for their plans. They could check out the subscriptions after the website is created. They could change the domain name later. They could have single sign-on to sign in directly, no need to add like admin and password, for example. They could add, like we said, different add-ons, and they could select different plan to expand the current plan they already purchased. In this demo, I'm going to show to you how I built all of this, the architecture, how we do all the communication, and how simply it is to build something like this using WordPress, and you don't need to spend months and a lot of time and a lot of money to build something like this. So keep watching and let's start. And the biggest question is why using WordPress to build web application or SaaS application? And the reason behind this is there are about 60,000 free plugins already on the official WordPress website, and basically they cover anything you would like to use or need to build your application. So you could have SEO application or SEO plugins that you could integrate in your solution. You could also provide for your customers as well, maybe ERP solution, maybe give them a complete e-commerce solution, maybe you would like to give them SEO solution, maybe you would like to have job list. So there is ton of solutions already available, all of this on the free market for WordPress. There is also Evanto, which also hosts premium plugins which are paid, people could buy them. Also there is private plugins where plugin developers will develop their own plugins and they offer them for paid service outside of WordPress, and there is also free ones outside of WordPress. So like you would have hundreds, about like 100,000 maybe of available plugins that you could use, and they would cover any use case you would think of, and there is no framework that could match this. And also because WordPress is using PHP is as old as any language you can get, so basically we'd have library for everything if you would like to build your custom solution. So you are using a huge solution that could help you build anything you would like to provide as SaaS. And this is why you use WordPress instead of like paying a lot of money, hiring a big team, developing everything from scratch. You could use these plugins. Of course, you might need a developer to like connect all of these pieces, but rarely you would need a huge team to build these solution. Like for example, if you are going to use the WooCommerce solution, you would need to spend maybe few years to build something even matching to different complexes and covering many edge cases. But you would just use it and you would save your time and also your money as well. So this is why I use WordPress, and instead of like wasting a lot of time, just focus on solving the solution. And this is like why we use WordPress. But the answer to the other question, which is how we use WordPress to build our solutions. And when we are trying to build our solution with WordPress, it always consists of few parts. And the first part is of course like you would use WordPress itself, but also you would use the plugins to offer you different functionality you would like to use, like we said. But also you would have like custom codes that you would like to integrate, and there are two parts that you would likely need to use. You would have custom theme to have different feel and look for your design, and you would also have custom plugins, and these custom plugins would try to connect all of the plugins that already downloaded to deliver your solution, but also to offer the added value you would like to eventually do. So these are the only parts where you are going to develop. You don't need to care about authentication, authorization, access management, roles, different plugins, like we said, like e-commerce, how it should be done, like coupons, how subscription needs to be done. So all of this you don't need to care about, but rather you only need to build your custom code, which is your added value. And beside all of this, you would likely use a platform to deliver your service as well. So maybe you would need to host it, or maybe you would like to use infrastructure like we are going to use with WPCS to offer us multiple WordPress installations. Maybe you would like to use an external accounting service, maybe like also we're going to use Stripe for as a payment gateway. So also this is a platform that you will need to rely on. But eventually all of this is how we are going to build WordPress as custom solution. You always have WordPress that you are going to use. You have plugins that we already get to solve our problems that we would like to deliver solution for. And also you would have your custom code, which would be like theme and plugins, and theme would deliver your design and plugin would deliver your business logic, added value you would deliver to your customer, and the platform which you are going to use to help us speed things and have less liability basically to maintain all this platform. So both what we are going to use is Stripe at the moment and also WPCS to help us have a large enterprise basically and deliver our solution at massive scale. And after we have discussed why and how we use WordPress to build SaaS solutions, let's discuss the architecture for Monday.com, the demo that we are going to build. And this application that we're going to build consists of three main parts or three services that we use to build the architecture for it. And the first part is the WP host, and WP host is the storefront. It's the place where you are going to sell subscriptions, help people to renew their subscriptions. If you would like to change domain, do single sign-on, if they would like to buy the add-ons that we are going to sell. So all of this will be managed on the storefront, which we call WP host. The second part is WP client, and these are the different tenants or the different websites that are created from the host. So I buy like one service that I would like to use, and then I would like to add few add-ons on it. So I would like to buy like the accounting add-on for my website. Maybe for another website I would like to buy the accounting add-on, and so on. So each part would be called the WP client. We call it WP client, but it's also the tenant that is going to be created on WPCS. And WPCS would be the platform that helps us scale the infrastructure. So instead of managing different images and changing them, upgrading and doing all of this like manually, because of course like it will consume time and so on, we are going to use WPCS to help us with the platform and managing the infrastructure. So all of these are the three parts which will be communicating with each other. WP host would be communicating with WPCS to either create tenants, delete tenants when user cancels the subscription, or if they would like to change the domain name for their tenant. And we have also direct communication between the host and the tenants as well, and we use them to either do single sign-on, and also if we would like to change roles where we are going to add different plugins, enable them or disable them. And of course to get like the authentication between the WP host and WP client. So this is a summary of the architecture, and we will start in the demo, and each time I would jump into this architecture and describe like each part, where it is and so on. And now after we discuss the architecture, let's start by building the storefront, which is the WP host. And I'm going to use DigitalOcean to build my storefront. Of course, I could use WPCS, you could use AWS, you could use whatever you would like to use. I just using DigitalOcean because it's super easy to build the instance on it. So I'm going to create a droplet, and I am going to select from Marketplace WordPress. This is the installation that I would like to use, and eventually we are going to install on it WooCommerce and subscription and all of these plugins that we are going to describe later. And I'm going to select a small instance. I would use it here, Frankfurt in Germany, and I'm going to select a password here. I already prepared it. And then I'm going to create that droplet, and it would take a while to start, of course, so let's wait. Now after our instance is ready, let's go and install WordPress inside it. And we would need to go to the console to be able to log into our instance. How do I know all of this? Of course, like I read the documentation and I have done it multiple times, so I just like have an idea how to do it. And let's start by installing WordPress. And the first part, of course, it asks about the domain. So instead of using a real domain, I'm just going to use the IP address for my droplet or my instance. Then I'm going to add this one just for simplicity, and then it would ask for my email address. This is also one of the websites we are going to use to help us, which is called temp mail, and basically it provides us with temporary emails to be able to use them. So now I go back to the console, I add the temporary email address, ask for my username, I say it's admin, and then password, I add a very strong password. As for my blog title, I say Monday clone. Of course, you could name it whatever you would like. More information correct? Yes. We don't need HTTPS for now for our demo. And then it would start installing WordPress. So now WordPress should be installed on our instance. Let's go back and try to log into our instance. So yes, it is now working. We'll go to WP admin. We are able to see the admin. Let's try to log in our admin panel. And we are able to log in. So now is the time to install the different plugins that we are going to use. And the first part, we need to sell our things or our solutions or subscriptions to other people to use. So the plugin that is going to help us is WooCommerce. This is a plugin or WordPress, and it basically helps us to sell whatever we would like to sell, anything, like either from physical stuff until even to virtual things, and we are going to sell virtual. Okay, and also we are going to install Stripe as well, because we would like to use it as a payment gateway to help us like basically earn money from them. And after these two plugins are ready, we need to add two premium plugins basically to use them. The first one is called WooCommerce subscriptions. You might need to buy it for this demo to use it, and basically it helps us to offer subscriptions for our users to be able to like basically make money from them every month. This is the first one. The other one is called self-service, I think, self-service WooCommerce. Yeah, self-service dashboard for WooCommerce. This is also the second plugin that we need to buy, and this helps us to have the add-on functionality inside our subscriptions. Basically, we are going to have subscription, and we have different add-ons that people could add on their subscription. And this one is going to help us basically do all of the parts that we would like to need, and then we would need to connect all of this with WPCS. So these two plugins, I would add links for them in the description for this video. Okay. Now let's go back to our WordPress to add these two premium plugins, and we are going to choose file, or I think it's, yeah, I just maybe like pull it and then add install. Now I added the first plugin. Of course, we wouldn't activate them, and we would need to add the second plugin, which is the subscription. So now it should be added, and these are the two premium plugins. Like we said, if we go back to the diagram, we have WordPress, we have different plugins, the 4 plugins that we installed to help us like to combine the functionality. And then we have the custom plugin for the host to speak to our tenants eventually. And this, you could able to download them from my GitHub link that would host the different plugins available. So I'm going to download them now, and also I'm going to add links for them that you are able to download eventually. And let's go back to our upload, and what we need to upload is the host plugin, because this would be the host, which is the storefront, like we said, and eventually we would need to add the, like after we upload the host, we would need to upload the clients there on the tenant when we create an image for it. And I'm going to grab the host, and we added it and we install it. Basically install it just like upload and then extract on our website, basically on WordPress. Now let's go to the plugins, and we need to activate them on this order that I'm going to do. First part is activating WooCommerce to have now the functionality for e-commerce to sell the subscription, like we said. And it would take a minute to activate, because like it would start like building databases and also activating different parts, and it would start with a wizard that we could fill in different details. So it asks for my address, I say 123 Berlin. It asks for my region, I say I live in Berlin, Germany, and city Berlin, and for postal code I just add any one for now. I then click continue. I say no thanks for now for this part. And then I would go for, yeah, well, let's say others. and we would like to sell subscriptions. Let's remove this one. Also remove this one. It's just like all of this is just a survey. We don't care too much about it. And then we click continue. Let's remove all of this. And it asks for our theme. This is for our storefront. Of course, you could have your own designs, but for now I'm just using this storefront free theme because we don't care too much about the design for now, because the design would be a complete different story. Now we downloaded it and our WooCommerce is ready. Now let's go to the plugins, and the second plugin that we need to activate is the Stripe gateway to start getting the cash from our users. And after we activate it, we need to set it up. So let's go to WooCommerce settings and we go to payments. Of course, like all of this information, because I already used a lot, like use WordPress and WooCommerce for a lot of time. And then we go to Stripe and we enter account keys. And I already have an account on Stripe and I have like a test account. I didn't use like actual details. Of course, you might need to fill in the actual details to use this demo for real. And then I would need to copy the publishable key. And then I go back to our website. Yes, maybe I need to close all of this. Yes, let's get this one here and we add our publishable key. And then we copy the secret key as well. And we need to make sure, of course, like this is on the test. So I need to go to the test and do it again. So I copy the publishable key, I add this one, I copy the secret key and add this one as well. And let's save the test keys. Now Stripe is also ready. So we can also get the cash again. Let's go back to the plugins. And now we need to activate WooCommerce subscriptions to be able to have the subscription function. Like you see, like all of this is one click away and we have a complete feature like with one click. We don't need to spend a lot of time to develop all of this. And then we enable the serve service. Like we said, it would help us to allow the add-on functionality for our system. And we need to set these two plugins up. So first we go to the settings, and regarding the subscriptions, we need to say that we need to uncheck this selection, which is saying like allow multiple subscriptions and product to be purchased simultaneously. We only allow one purchase in the cart. This is just to make things easier for our system that we built. And for the serve service, we need to allow them to add new products. They call it new product. This is also the add-on functionality that we are going to build. So we mark it as checked and we save. And lastly, we now can activate our Monday clone host, which would help us to do many things. It would help us connect with WPCS, like let's go to the architecture. It would help us connect with WPCS and also help us connect with the client. And let's now start by using WPCS and building things inside it. Let's go now to WPCS. And when we go to WPCS, we would need to define something called product. We need to create a product, our solution, basically to have the infrastructure. And inside this product, we need to create a version, which is like an editor for our WordPress that we would going to offer to our users. And I'm going to show it and explain each part. So the first part is our product, and we say monday.com clone. This is our clone that we are going to offer our product. And it will take a while to create the project, and let's go and wait until it's ready. And now it's ready. Let's create a version. And basically a version, you could have multiple versions for your solution. Like you could imagine as if it's like when you buy like Windows 10 and then previously you would have like Windows 7. So you would have different versions for your solution, version 1, version 2, version 3. You could change it in the future to upgrade it and so on, do different adjustment inside it, and then upgrade it to all your users at once. But each one would have their own instance, have their own solution inside our system. And let's define our version 0. This is not like version 1, but rather version 0, because we need to define different things. So I have version 1, first part, and we need to make sure that we select PHP 7.4 or like more would be fine. and it would create our version. And in the future we could create like version 2, version 3, version 4, and each version inside it we would have something called snapshots. And basically you could have many snapshots, but you would have like a version for like defining that this is the actual version that we are going to use. Of course, like WPCS has a lot of documentation about their architecture. I would also add a link for them in the description. You could read more. But in summary, you would have version, and version would have many snapshots, and you could select from one of snapshot. You could say, okay, I would like this to be like a new version now, do changes, and then save it to become the new version. And you could have like many versions working with each other, and each customer have different version for each of their plans, maybe. Like this is also one way to do it. So there are many ways to use the idea of version snapshots. But in summary, we have version, and we could have different snapshots on it, and we are going to use one version for now for our demo. So now our version is ready, and let's go to the editor. And basically now we are going to edit how it would look like for our users. This is different. Like we built so far the storefront, which we are going to sell our subscriptions, but this one is the actual image that people, not the actual image, but rather the how it could look like for other users. And from that we are going to create the real images or the real tenants or the real websites for our users. So basically here we are going to create the template. And what we are going to offer in our ERP solution similar to Monday, we could have an accounting plugin for our users to use. So let's get an accounting plugin. Yeah, I wrote it incorrectly. Accounting. So let's get this. Maybe this is a simple one. Maybe also get this plugin as well. This is fine. We are going to install multiple random plugins. Like, of course, you could have very well planned like what plugins you would like to use. We could also offer for them ability to sell stuff. So they also could have WooCommerce on their website as well to sell parts, and they could have also a payment gateway. Let's add like Stripe and PayPal because we don't know which one they would like to use. All of this we're just like going to add it, and maybe also add shipping and tax as well. This is fine. And also we might have a job list. So because all of this is offering to people to like we said, like a complete ERP solution similar to Monday. And we could also have an LMS. I think this would be fine. Like this would be the last part. Of course, you could add as many plugins as you would like depending on the solution you would like to use. But all of these plugins we have now installed. Now we need to add our custom code. Like we said, we have our host, and inside the host, it's going to communicate with the client to say which are different rules available for each plugin. So we need to install our custom codes that are going to define which plugins are enabled for which role or which add-on basically, or which plan. So let's choose the file. And yeah, it's a little bit of a problem, I guess, with Chrome. So I need to grab it, and we are going to install here the Monday client. So now I click install now, and this one I can activate directly. And after I activated, you would see here tenant settings, and inside tenant settings we have the first part. We need to define which is the host URL, which is our host that we are going to communicate with. So our host would be just the IP address. This would be fine. So let's copy it and make sure that you have the correct protocol, which is HTTP. Of course, like if you have a domain, this would be fine. Or also you could add it directly, but make sure you don't have the slash at the end because it could cause some problems. So now we save it, and now we need to add roles. Okay, what are roles? So in our solution, you are going to always have the concept of plugins or mini plugins basically, and each one is going to represent the different services you are offering to your customers. So you could have like WooCommerce, like we said, ERP, job list, LMS, whatever you would like to install. And you are going to have on the other side products which you are going to sell through WooCommerce. And what you would like to do is that when someone buys a certain product or a certain subscription, they need to have certain plugins enabled for them. So you could have as many plugins as you are going to have here. And you would say, okay, for product one, I would like to, like the basic plan, I would like them to have like the A plugin enabled. Maybe for the add-on, I would like for them to also have now B enabled. For 3, I would like them to have C, and so on. But the problem with this direct connection between product and plugins is that in the future you might say, okay, I would like to change this product from just enabling A, I would like it to maybe like enable B. So in this case, you have to go through all the old tenants and do like manual code to say, okay, please disable like A and enable P for our customers. So you have to go through all of this, do a lot of manual code, so it doesn't make sense to do all of this. And this is what we call like imperative commands, and basically say to the servers like, please move all of this. But there is a better solution which is declarative, and basically you would say, okay, when I have a certain state, please enable this plugins. And in the future, you could just change this state definition from plugin A to plugin B, and then you could apply it to all clients and they apply all at once. And this is where the idea of roles comes in. You have roles in the middle. And let's remove all of this to make it simpler. And with roles, you would say, like, it's similar to what we have in WordPress. You have administrator role, editor role, but rather we are going to have product A role, and we're going to have add-on A, like add-on 1 role, add-on 2 role, whatever you would like to have. Maybe just also to not make it like this, let's say add-on 2 and add-on 3, like different add-ons that we are going to use. And in this case, you would have this part defined on our WP client. And with this definition, we could say, okay, product A, please enable this plugin. Add-on 2, please enable this plugin. Add-on 3, please enable this plugin. And on the product side, you would say for this product, it is going to have this role. For this product, it is going to have this role, and so on. So we now have direct connection between product and roles. And in the future, when you would like to change roles, instead of having access, for example, like product A, instead of having access to plugin A, maybe you have like another plugin, let's say plugin, maybe like plugin Z or plugin X, whatever you are going to use in the future. And this is going to change this one to the other plugins, and you just change the definition here. But you don't need to do like any imperative commands, hey, it change all the servers. But rather, when we change this definition inside our tenants, because this like description or like declarative part would be always inside all our tenants, and when we change it in our version, it always apply to everyone. So no need to check like every tenant, oh, does they have like plugin A enabled or they have plugin X enabled? No, I don't need to care about all of this. I just change the definition and it applies to everyone. So this is why we are going to have the idea of roles. We are going to define which role enables which plugin. And then on our WP host or our storefront, we are going to connect each product to a certain role to enable the plugins by declaring which role enables which plugin. So this is why we are going to use the concept of roles. And now let's go to our client and we need to define the first role. So you could say like it's just a basic plan. This is the first role that we would like to use. And then we are going to have different add-ons that are going to be enabled. So we could say we have the LMS add-on. This is a role. This is fine to say it like this. So we have the LMS add-on. We have the e-commerce add-on. And we have jobs add-on and accounting add-on as well. Accounting add-on. So now we added them, and now we need to define which plugin is enabled. For basic plan, there is nothing enabled. They always have to buy an add-on. So for LMS, we need to define LearnPress. For e-commerce, we need to define the different WooCommerce enabled. And for the jobs, we need to add the simple job board. And for the accounting, we need to add the ever accounting. And we just save. And now the definitions are defined. Of course, by doing this, we still need to define them on the host, because who knows it now is the client. But also the host need to be aware of all of them. So we need to go back to our host and make sure that Monday is activated now. And sometimes the definitions might not come because If you go to products and try to add and try to see the roles, it might not be select, like there might be no roles basically, because there are a few things we need also to do. So the first thing, you need to go to the settings, permalink, and make sure that you have post name selected. This is very important. So we need to save this one. And also on the host, on the client, basically, or our tenant, you need to also make sure the permalink as well is selected as post name. Of course, it's selected. I know all of this, but the one which you need to make sure that is on the host as well as has post name. Okay, and the other part we also forgot to connect with WPCS, because our storefront doesn't know the link or the URL for the versions that we are using, because like we said, we could have multiple versions. So we need to communicate with WPCS to tell it, hey, please give us the URL for the versions that is going to use it. So we need to define the region. We are going to use region EU1. And let's go to the WPC console and load from here. And we need to define the API keys that we're going to use. So let's add this one. And we say it's Monday Storefront. This is the server that, or the API keys name. Of course, you could use whatever name you would like to use. Okay, let's go to our host or storefront and add the API key and add the secret as well. So now when we save it, after we did this, we need to go to the client again and we need to save it if like all of this was missed. And also make sure when you go to settings, permalink as well, that post name as well is selected to make sure that everything is working and the API and communication between services are working as well. So let's go to roles and try to click save again. And this time you would see like it would take more time because now there is server to server communication and getting a lot of links. So now after the save, let's go to our storefront. And now let's go to product and try to add a new product, and hopefully this time we'd see everything is working. So we try to add new, and now we can see all the roles available. So if you found like these bugs, you now are able to fix any one of them. Permalinks, make sure they are updated, the WPCS configurations are configured correctly, and also the roles are corrected there as well. So let's add our subscription. So the first part is the first one is the basic plan. It's just like, hey, please create to me a website, and we select the basic plan from the roles. We go down here and say it's a simple subscription. It's a virtual, because it's a virtual product, not an actual product. And we say it's for 25 euros per month, and trial, let's say it has like 14 days trial. And let's select a product image. I already downloaded a few images from Unsplash, and let's select this one. Oh, I need to open it at first. So let's open it, and I'm going to upload this image. All of them are from Unsplash as well, and it would take some time. Maybe I would upload all the images as well, because it's fine to upload multiple images, just to also like save some time. So now the images are uploaded. Let's select the first one for our basic plan, and we make sure that, like we said, like the money is correct, because we need to make some cash from them. And let's publish it. So now this is the first one. Let's close all of these things because they are a little bit annoying. Yeah, and let's go to the second one, which would be the LMS add-on, and we say LMS add-on. And let's select an image. So set product image, and this one is the LMS accounting. Yes, let's select an LMS. Okay, so students, this one is nice. Virtual, simple subscription. Let's say this is add-on is only for 10 euros and free trial is 14. And most important part, because we need to differentiate somehow between products or actual plans and add-ons. So we are going to use categories as a differentiation between products or the normal plans and the add-ons. And we need to call it add-on, and it has to be called like this, add-on. The name is fine, but the slug is important to be like this. So we just like add add-on. And you could change the category name later, but this one is important that the slug is called add-on, because the custom plugin would be able to know which one is add-on and so on. So now we click publish, and now we add the next one. So I would select the e-commerce. So we say e-commerce add-on and select product image. Just time should be faster. Virtual simple subscription, 10 euros and 14-day trial. Publish. And let's do the other one. And the other one would be the jobs add-on. So we say jobs add-on and select product. This could be nice. And select the add-on and simple subscription, virtual, 10 euros and 14-day trial, and select publish. And the last one now should be the accounting. So let's add a new product, accounting add-on, and we select accounting. Again, image, select, and add-on, simple subscription, virtual, 10, 14. Of course, you could add any amount of money you would like to do. Okay, and now we select publish, and now all products should be correct. Make sure, yes, this one is a mistake. E-commerce add-on should be in the add-on category. So we fix it, and let's go back to make sure everything is correct. So add-ons, all of them have the add-on category. This one doesn't matter. Each one have amount of money for them. So we should be ready to go to the store. So we go to the store and we see our basic plan. So let's try things out. Hopefully it would work. So we say sign up and we select checkout and we say my name, Abdul Tawfiq, and let's say the host name would be, maybe it's Company Corp, LLC, I don't know, whatever you would like to do. And okay, it's in Germany, and address, of course, like all of this is just procedure for WooCommerce. Okay, phone number is correct. And this is just a random credit card because we are using Stripe for test. We are not using the actual one. And we add some data here to be able to work. All of this, by the way, all of this are just test data, so it doesn't work if you are going to use it. Okay, and let's click sign up, and it should work, hopefully. Let's cross our fingers. And it worked. Let's check out in WPCS. Let's go to monday.com product and we see our tenant. Our tenant is now spinning off, and now we have our first customer, maybe, who bought our product. And if we check our temporary email, we should now have many emails because we haven't checked them so far. So you would see the one for the website is created and your Monday order as well, like being ordered, our order, and so on. This one is received. Yes, this one. This is the main one. So now we have our domain, and we have also the login details for people to use our website because they don't know what is the password, what is the email, and so on. So you could click it and they are able to log in, but we don't want to log in like this because there is also one feature that we added. So let's go back to the checkout cart, and we could use a single sign-on. So they need to go to my account, and when they go to my subscriptions, of course, because they have only one subscription, so they go directly to the main subscription. If they have many subscriptions, they could see the others, and we're going to see create two tenants basically, or two services. So the first one, we are able to log in as a certain user.
What?
Okay. Oh yes, because we forgot to create we forgot to create the snapshot, and this is a good example why we need snapshot, or what is the deploy basically in WPCS. So we did a big mistake here, and this is good to try to describe it. First, we defined the different roles, and we defined different pages, different plugins, and so on, but we forgot to save it. Can you imagine, we did the work, but we forgot to save it. So what we need to do is to close this one, and we go back to WPCS, and now we understand what is the deploy button. And basically deploy would save this image. So we need to add this image. We say maybe like we did like version 0. We could say, okay, this is now v1. And we say like created plugins and roles. And by this, we are now able to save it. Basically, of course, it's going to be deployed, but we are going to delete all of this because this is just under the demo for now. So we could delete the tenant for now. Okay, now the snapshot is saved, and let's try to buy subscription again. So let's go to the shop and let's click sign up, go to cart. Of course, if you have coupons, let's apply them, but we have 14 days for free. And we say this is Berlin LLC. And we have credit card, everything is signed up. So let's sign up again, and hopefully this time would create everything correctly. So it would sign up, check out. Now it's creating the second tenant. And now the tenant is ready. Let's try to do the single sign on again. So let's go to my account, subscriptions, and this time we would see the old subscription. We don't care about it. This was only for testing. This is the new subscription. Let's try to log in. And we logged in. We didn't need to enter any details. So single sign on is working correctly. Now I would like to buy the add-ons like we described. So we go down here and we have a new button which is called add new add-on. We click on it, and now we could see the other products that we would like to use. So maybe I would like to add the LMS add-on into my subscription. So it is going to add it. This plugin takes a little while to do a refresh to the page. But anyway, so we could also add the other add-on as well. Maybe I would like to add accounting to my system. And this is in the architecture, like we show here. Now, when you add like a new add-on or change anything inside it, the add-on manager is the one handling all of this, and it says to our WP client, hey, there is a new role being added, like we did here. So there is a new role, please activate these plugins upon these roles. So if I go back to the dashboard and try to refresh, it might need by the way like double refresh sometimes, but from a single refresh it worked. So now we have the accounting enabled, we have the LMS solution as well is enabled. Maybe after this I said like I don't need the LMS, so we can cancel it, we can remove it. Of course, like it's now removed easily because there is like the 14 days sync. And if I go here and try to refresh, I would see the LMS disappeared. So you could now add on, remove add-on, and you do whatever you would like to do. So like you see, like it's very simple idea to do all of this. And yeah, we now have the add-on enabled. Now there is also the second part, which you would like to add a custom domain as well to our website, because you know, like this is not user friendly. So I used already a free service to give me free domains. It's called Freenom. And it helps you like if you would like to buy free domains. And yeah, I wouldn't pay for them for now, at least for the current demo. And yeah, I have Monday clone as the domain that we are going to use. And you would see under here also like we added like few details to help our users to be able to know which domain, like how to set up the domain and add DNS and CNAMEs and so on. So it's just like copy the domain, and we now add it. So let's remove this, and we have monday.tk, and when we click update, it would now communicate according to our architecture from the domain manager to WPCS. So if we go to WPCS console and we go to our tenant, we now see the domain is being added. Of course, like updating domain, networking, and all of this would take a while to be done. And if you would like to see more of the domain stuff, you could check out my other video about cloning Shopify, because I did like more extensive idea about the domain and its concept and so on. So you could check this video as well. And now the domain is ready after it's synced. So let's try to refresh. And yeah, maybe I need to just like click like this. And let's try to log in now. And we now could log into our domain. So everything is working nicely. Okay, one thing we would like also to try out. We would like to try that, for example, we would like to give for some reason we would like to give for accounting people to have the ability to like to have WooCommerce enabled for people who already bought our accounting service. So, or accounting add-on. So let's go to our product. Let's go to Monday clone and let's go again to the editor. I need to close all of these because it's a little bit much. And let's go to the tenant settings. And also you would notice something nice, that tenant settings and plugins are only enabled for you inside the editor. But if you check the tenant, they are disabled. Users cannot access them. So basically, like, there is a differentiation between the version or the part where you are editing, doing all your templating stuff, and also the real tenant. This is different from this one. So they don't have access to the plugin because, you know, like, they could simply like enable plugins and they don't need to buy add-ons, but we need to prevent them from doing this. And also, like, inside the tenant, there is custom code. All of this inside the custom plugins develop. It enables, like, always checks that plugins, the correct plugins are enabled or disabled. So if they try to add like some hacky way to enable or disable it, always there is a code to check, like, no, this should be disabled. So I'm going to disable it again. Okay, let's go to the tenant settings and try to do the role. And for the people who bought the accounting, let's enable also WooCommerce for them. And let's save it. And after we save, all we need to do is just go to the WP console and now deploy. Because we now have, like, we don't need to speak to the storefront. All of this, like we said, like the declarative part, all of this is done on our site. It doesn't need to speak anything to the storefront or change or do anything. So now we could say allow accounting to have e-commerce. And now we say submit. Okay, yeah, I will just like copy the comment. Maximum. Okay. Allow accounting e-commerce, and that's it. This should be fine. Okay, and we wait until it is ready. So now the version is deployed. Let's try to check inside our account or our website that we created that we now have WooCommerce. So let's log in. Of course, this time it might take more time because it now should enable WooCommerce automatically. So it will take time because, you know, like, it needs to set the database and so on, and it would jump us directly to WooCommerce. Yes, it's a little bit of something inside WooCommerce. So we didn't need to like speak to the servers and check like WooCommerce is enabled or not. We just change the plugins and save it, deploy, and now all our customers who bought the accounting module also have WooCommerce enabled. So this is also one of the good things as well with the idea of having roles. And lastly, we should be able also to buy 2 websites or 3 websites, whatever we would like, not just one. So let's go to the shop and let's buy the second company we would like to create. So we go to the checkout and then we could say it is maybe Munich LLC or Munich Corp. Yeah, this is like the second company we would like to create, and we say yes, sign up. And now our website should be created. So if we go to the WPCS, we now see the second one is created. And we should be able also to do the same. We should be able to add add-ons and so on. So let's check if it's working first because the website needs to be enabled. And now the website should be ready. Of course, like, our customers shouldn't see this. They would know it by trying to log in and so on. So we go to my account and we see the subscription. It should be the third one. And we should be able to log in. This is the second website that we have. And let's this one add like different add-ons for it. So we go down. We could have maybe for this one, not e-commerce. Let's add the jobs add-on, and also let's add the ELMS. Of course, it's going to refresh, so let's wait until the refresh is done, and then add the ELMS. And let's try to log in, or we already, yeah, let's close all of this because it's a little bit much. Yes, and let's try to log in, and we should have the ELMS enabled and the job board as well enabled. Yeah, it would take a little while. Yeah. So we have now the job board enabled and the ALMS, and both of them are multiple subscriptions. So we are now also allowing our users to buy multiple subscriptions, not one, but many ones as well. Okay, so we now did the demo, we did like how things working. Let's go quickly into the code. Of course, like the code is a little bit too much to explain in this summary video, but I'm going to give like a small summary, what is the different parts inside the code, so you could have like an idea about it. So basically the code is of course like written in PHP, and we have two packages. We have the Monday client code and we have the Monday host code. The one for the storefront and the other one is for the client, which is used to serve our tenants inside it. And inside the source file, I have these three layers. Basically, we have the API part, which is doing the communication between the part of the plugin and the outside world. And there is the core classes, basically, which doing some core functionality, and then eventually the features, and each one have different features enabled inside the index.php. This is how I like to develop WordPress plugins. And you would have plugins like plugin bootstrap, basically starting like different parts inside the plugin for the client. You would have the admin roles. This is where we define like the different roles that we needed to select. You would have the admin tenant settings, where we needed to add the URL for connecting between the host and the client. And you would have the secure connection, which is trying to do secure connection between the host and the client. If you also would like more details about the secure connection, please check the Shopify video, because I also described it more details like private and public keys and how we're doing secure communication between the host and the client website. So this part is on Monday client, and for the source as well for Monday host, also the same thing. API doing external communication, core functionalities, and different features enabled. You would have the admin WooCommerce role, which you would do like the selector part, which we had to select which role. And you would have the settings, which we are defining the API, the keys to communicate between the host and WPCS. Also bootstrap part, which are doing like different filtering and different limitation, because for example when you check out the shop page, you would see that we don't allow people to select or buy add-ons directly, but rather they have to buy a basic plan and then they could buy an add-on for this plan. So we do like these types of filtering here as well. Tenants add-ons, because you would need two parts, like one for the normal subscription, tenant subscription manager, and also you would have tenants add-on subscription manager. They always listen for when a subscription is created or canceled, or you have like an add-on added or removed, and then they define, okay, I would like to add this role or remove this role. And then you have the checkout part, which you add just like the website name or the domain on the checkout page if you would like it to see them. So this is as simple as that, and this is the only custom code I needed to write. I didn't need to spend like months to develop this demo, but rather it's just like, you could think of it like a weekend project or like 2-day or 3-day project, and it is done and is ready to be used. So it is super simple. You could develop plugins, like we said, with WordPress, have a complete SaaS solution like this. We now just need to make more better design, basically, because this is not a very welcoming design. So we just need to add some CSS styles or buy even like a theme from Invato or like custom themes as well. So you could buy any of this, have like custom design. So yeah, we didn't need, like we said, we use the power of WordPress. It is huge, and I think it has huge potential to help like startups save a lot of money and effort and time, and also need to hire like huge teams to build these solutions. This was built by me only. Of course, you would need experienced developer if you would like to build more customized stuff, but like you see, it saves a lot of time to have these solutions, and it's easy to develop. So yeah, I hope you like this video. If you like it, please leave thumbs up, because it helps with the algorithm. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment. I would reply to every question you are going to comment. So yeah, thanks, and see you in the next video. Ciao.